Well, they had dug it out all the way down to the footing. They filled the entire thing with gravel and it was wrapped in the felt. They had the board on there, but then as you see on the right, that the piece of pipe that is left there, that is where it stopped, and then you see the concrete that's poured on top of the footing like a dam, and then that pipe goes into the crawl space, and then it slopes uphill. So that's where all the water was going. It was draining into the crawl space.
All right, so just real quick, you get what you pay for, probably. I'm guessing that was probably the cheapest bid. But not always. We've replaced some jobs that were very expensive. Word of advice: don't let them cover the pipe until you see where it's going. Right? Would you agree, Ian?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. You just never know what they're going to do. I bought a house and they had a downspout and then they had a grate drain, and it was the same thing. The downspout and the grate drain were that far from each other. So the downspout was just draining into stub soil, and the grate drain was literally 6 inches. They could have very easily just attached it. I don't know if they just didn't want to drive to Home Depot and buy the fitting or what, but it's nuts, and when people are like, I can't believe y'all are more expensive. This is, if you're paying cheap for something, I guarantee you that contractor is going to find some way to cut a corner somewhere. And you may not notice it for years, but it's, you got to make sure you're paying for quality labor, because there's a lot of crazy things that I've seen over the years. And it's hard for me to justify, when I'm $3,000 or $4,000 more expensive than my competitor. I've literally seen like mold treatments where they only treated the mold facing the door because they didn't think the homeowner would crawl in and look behind the joist. I mean, I've seen stuff like that. It's crazy. Just do the job right. I mean, I don't understand, right? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's like this is a 7-step process, and it's like they got 6 of the steps. It's like, why? Just, they were so close.
And then they took it in the crawl space and went uphill. Is that what you said? Is that this one?
Yes.
All right. So they stubbed. So this is that wall on the inside. They stubbed it into the crawl space, and now the pipe starts going uphill. Is that correct?
Yes. And then it just kind of, they ran it, maybe 10 feet inside the crawl space, and then just buried the whole thing.
So they're dumping your outside water into the crawl space.
Yes, which explains a lot of the moisture issues that we were having.
Holy mackerel. That's just, man, that's criminal. I mean, I don't even know how else to say it. That's not neglect or stupidity. That's just outright malice. That's all that is, So anyway, it's probably his brother-in-law.
I mean, I don't, maybe it was part of the design of the bomb shelter. They thought they need a water source.
Yeah. It was like fallout. We're going to get rainwater into the bomb shelter through this muddy, nasty perk pipe, and then we're going to filter the mud out. Yeah, maybe. Oh man.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I don't, what we were talking about the structural engineer earlier, who was very helpful, but he did have a great joke. He said, he was like, I'm happy to lend my expertise, but I think you probably need either an anthropologist or an exorcist to explain some of these things.
And I'm sorry I'm laughing. This isn't funny. I apologize. It's funny now. I bet it wasn't funny when you found this out. I bet you were pretty hot.
It was, no, actually, it was kind of a relief.